Good morning friends, welcome back to Parnika tutorials. In this video, I want to discuss about null pointers in detail. So I request everyone to watch the complete video for better understanding. First let me define what is a pointer. Pointer is a variable which holds the address of another variable. If you have declared an integer pointer, then it can hold the address of an integer variable. Similarly, a float pointer can hold the address of a float variable only. Now let me discuss what is a null pointer. Null pointer is a pointer which is not pointing to any memory location. When we can say that a pointer is a null pointer? If you assign a null value to any pointer, then you can call that pointer as a null pointer. Those statements I have written here, you can look at it. A null pointer is a pointer that does not point to any memory location. When a null value is assigned to a pointer, then it is called as a null pointer. Now let me discuss with a simple example. You have declared an integer pointer and you assigned a null value to it. Then this pointer p, you can call it as a null pointer because it is not pointing to any memory location. Let's take that after this statement, you have declared a variable m and then you have assigned the address of the variable m to the pointer p. Then this pointer p holds the address of this variable m, so it is pointing to this variable m. Is it clear? Now it is not a null pointer because this pointer p is holding the address or it is pointing to some memory location. Now why should we declare like this? Why can't I declare like this? If I write int star p and after that I have written int m and then I have written p is equal to ampersand m. Now look at this one. As it is a local variable, if it is a static variable or a global variable, then the default value which is there in this variable m will be 0. If it is a local variable, if you does not assign any value to this variable m, then by default it will have the garbage value. Am I right? Similarly, if it is a pointer, if you does not assign any value to it, then it will be pointing to some unknown memory location, which will create lot of issues. Are you able to understand? So it is a good practice whenever you are declaring any pointer, if you are not assigning any address, you assign a null value. Then it is not pointing to any memory location at all. Whereas here, it will be pointing to some unknown memory location. After that, you are writing p is equal to ampersand m. Now it is pointing to the variable m. That is okay, but this one will create the issues. Is it clear? So instead of declaring like this, better you declare and assign a null value. Or you would have declared an integer variable m. After that, you can declare a pointer and assign the address of this one. This is also okay. But however, this is not okay. So that's why people will go for like this. If you cannot assign any address during the declaration, better you assign a null value so that it will act as a null pointer, will not point to any memory location. So this is the good practice. Okay. Now I will discuss where this null pointer will be useful. This null pointers will be useful in the files and also in the dynamic memory allocation. Let me discuss about these two. I already discussed about the files. A file can be opened in various modes such as read mode, write mode and append mode using a function called fopen. Am I right? So let me write a statement to declare a file pointer. Okay. Then I have written a statement as p is equal to fopen and the name of the file I have to mention. Here I am opening the a.txt which is a text file and I am specifying the mode as read mode. So this file, if it is there, it will be opened in the read mode and the starting address of the file will be assigned to the pointer p. So this p is pointing to this file. Let's assume that you don't have any file called a.txt. If the file is not there, how it will be opened in the read mode? In that case, this fopen function will return a null value. So a null value will be assigned to the pointer p. So then we can say that it is a null pointer. Are you able to understand? So this is an error. Am I right? Because you have given a file, to open it in the read mode, that file is not there, then this function will return a null value. So then you can write a statement after this. If p is equal to null, the file is not open, you can exit from the program. Similarly, you have learned about the dynamic memory allocation. We can allocate the memory dynamically using two functions such as malloc or calloc. Let's assume that I have declared an integer pointer and I have written the malloc and I have done it into the typecasting as int. So whatever the memory I am allocating, let's assume that I am allocating the size as 20. Then 20 bytes of the memory will be allocated. Am I right? If it is allocated 20 bytes, let's assume that from 200 byte to 219 byte, then the address of the starting, which is 200, which we will call it as a base address. That base address will be assigned to the pointer p. So this p is pointing to the memory allocation which is done dynamically with the help of malloc function. Is it clear? Due to some issues, the memory was not successfully created. Then this function will return a null value. Then p will consist of value null. So now this p I can call it as a null pointer. So I hope you have understood. So in these cases, whenever there is an error, it will return the null value. So it will be useful for you to check whether this memory has been allocated or not, whether the file has been successfully opened or not. Similarly, let's assume that you have created the memory dynamically with the help of malloc function. It is your duty at the end of the program to release the memory, whatever it is when allocated. Similarly, whatever the file you have opened, after performing the operations on the file, it is your duty to close the file with the help of fclose and specify the pointer. Similarly, you have to release the memory with the help of free function and you have to specify the p. Now, initially, when the memory has been successfully allocated, the starting address has been assigned. Let's assume that the starting address is 200. Now, with the help of the free function, you have released this memory. Now, still this p is having the 200. So, it is having or it is pointing to an unavailable memory because you have already released the memory. So, that memory is not there. Then how it is pointing? So this one we'll call it as a dangling pointer. To avoid the dangling pointer issue, you have to assign a null value to this pointer p after using this function. So now it is acting as a null pointer. It is not pointing to any memory location. So here also you can use the null pointers. Now let me discuss one simple example for the null pointers. Okay. Let's assume that I have written this program hash include stdio.h, which is a standard input output header file I am including, and I am writing void main. Okay, and I have declared a pointer and assigned null value to it. Then if I am writing printf %d p, then what value will be displayed as an output? Is it clear? So what is this statement? You have declared or created a integer pointer which is p. Suppose it is in some address location 200. Then you assigned a null value to it, meaning is that it is a null pointer. So it is not pointing to any memory location. Now you have written a statement called printf %d p. So whatever the value which is there that you are trying to print, then what value will be printed? It will print the output as 0. Are you able to understand? So this null is nothing but 0. Either you can write 0 here or null here, but usually we will write it as a null. So it is acting as a null pointer. I hope you have understood what is a null pointer. how to will be useful for you, and what kind of outputs it will print if you write these programs. If you still have any doubts related to this null pointers or any related concepts, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubts as early as possible. Thank you for watching the complete video. Have a nice day.